The opinions expressed on this program are solely those of its hosts, guests, or callers, and do not necessarily represent the opinions of WTBR-FM, its management, other producers, or sponsors.
Well, the Good Wallace didn't get herself ejected in the state final for some dumb stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't want to say I dreaded showing up to this football game on Friday night, but yeah, we'll see what happens.
Mike, if you want to talk, you have to talk into the microphone. There we go. Mic to mic.
I'm lost.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Pittsfield Community Radio, 89.7 WTBR-FM, Pittsfield, 88.1 WSBR Lee. It's the bird's eye view here. Jesse, Mike, Hank in his, is that a bear? I think that's a polar bear onesie.
It's almost like velour.
Velour?
It's like, I don't know what it's, baby velour.
The Italian in you is really coming out now. Welcome, folks. It's going to be the final show for us, I believe, of this year. Kind of crazy, kind of sad. Of course, we will be back in the new year.
Next Thursday's Christmas, baby.
Next Thursday's Christmas, so we will not be on. Lots of Christmas music will be going on WTBR-FM and WSBR that day, so you will not hear from us. It last one of 2025. It was a very fun year for the show, our first real year. So thank you all for being a part of it, sticking with us. We will, of course, be back in 2026. And to be fair, you won't be missing much because during the Christmas to New Year's portion, very, very little is going on in high school sports. So there won't be much for us to talk about anyway. This is kind of our final one for at least a couple weeks. Saw Wicked yesterday.
I was going to say let's go out with a bang, and then you said you saw Wicked yesterday.
Yep, I saw Wicked for good. It was thoroughly mediocre.
It was not for good?
It was not for good, which is sad because the first one was good. This one was not so much. Just kind of nothing happens. Any case, so
I've heard that the second half of the musical itself, the songs are not as good.
I have
my musical expert wife.
I have never watched the musical. I have read the book.
Not a lot of music in there.
No, you have to use your imagination.
Yeah.
Book is very, very good though. Would recommend. In any case, yes, we can start. We can go out with the bang here.
I got upset, so I was trying to go to. Let's stick on movies for a second. I was going to go. I think Tuesday night was a light night for us. Or no, I was off to. Yeah, I wound up taking Tuesday off. And
by the way, hold on. Because I was laughing with Evan about this in the newsroom. I was cracking up because Mike was like, I don't know if I'm working or not working. And then he's
it was a real game time decision.
And then he goes,
made mostly by my 4-year-old.
He goes, all right, if Everett wants to see a game, then I'll go. I'm like, your 4-year-old making you do your actual job on a day you don't want to.
I was trying to use him as an excuse. Maybe that's mostly what it boiled down to.
If the kid wants to go see a high school basketball game, I will go work a high school basketball game.
That's kind of what it amounted to. I think he probably would have gone, but ultimately I was like, I need a night at home. During this season, you need some nights at home to get stuff done.
Yes.
Well, because that movie's so enormous and a couple other movies are so enormous, there's only 3 movies showing.
Much.
Yeah,
it's like that
right
one, Zootopia 2,
which is also enormous, and none all of which were sequels, I believe, to films that I hadn't seen the first one. I can pull up the Beacon website. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but it was Wicked 2, Zootopia 2. And something else too.
Oh, Freddy! Five Nights at Freddy's.
Five Nights at Freddy's 2, which I had not seen. Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
So, so it struck out there on my one night of potential movie going.
Yeah, well, it's not a matinee showing, so it was $7. So that was what was nice.
There you go.
It just kind of feels like nothing really happened, and then the ending was good because Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande have genuine chemistry, and that kind of made it great. But yeah, it was kind of a bit of a nothing burger. The completionist in me wanted to finish it off, unfortunate. In any case, sports.
We also saw sports this week.
We saw some sports this week. So we were leaving the office on Monday.
Yes.
And I was all of a sudden very high on the Drury girls. And I read your roundup from last night, and I mean, because it was like, all right, Lee is
There's
still
reason to
a
still be
young
high.
team. Lee has a new head coach, so it's a good win for Drury. It's a big win for Drury. They beat, a Final Four team that beat them last year and all that. But all right, and they beat Wacona 37-31. I've been talking about Wacona girls as if, they could be a Final Four team, Western Mass title team. And Drury comes good. That was in Dalton, right? Or was it North Adams?
No, that was Drury's opener, yeah.
Still, Drury's home opener. You beat Wacona 37-31. You hold Madison McCarthy to single digits.
Not even single
points.
digits. 2 baskets.
2 baskets.
Yeah, 2 baskets, no free throws.
Riding high. I am buying stock in the Drury girls. I really thought they could be a great team on Monday. After Wednesday, I'm saying, hey man, this could be the best team in Class C in Western Mass.
You could even take stock out of the other game last night, which was Lee, which had just kind of got drubbed, as your word, drubbed by Drury.
Yeah.
Went out and beat a Greylock team fairly handily, a Greylock team that was coming off a pair of 30-point wins. Whatever stock you put into those at the Franklin Tech tip-off, but
a little bit of stock. I mean,
put up 59 points on Greylock. So
yeah, I mean, Greylock hadn't played in 6 days.
I guess it's Friday, yeah.
Yeah, so it had been a little bit. But even still, yeah, that's definitely a solid win. They're in the same league now, so it'll be interesting. We'll get that game again. But
I just mean, it boosts the Drury win over Lee a little bit.
Yes.
However you, transitive property, everything.
Yeah. No, I am high on Drury. They are a deep team. They have 3 legitimate bigs, and only 2 are healthy right now. So the fact that, that still gives them bodies they can throw, because Wacona's Danielle Hagmeyer's pretty tall, and they have Addison Shepard and Elise Daly, and they can kind of just throw 2 bigs at most teams who will not have the depth at the center spot. And then, yeah, you have a lot of kind of wings who can all shoot relatively well. Delaney Hayden, Ashlyn Hayden, Lily Morante, Megan McGrath, Nora Wood. You just have a lot of interchangeable pieces. And, I don't think they have a takeover player yet. Someone you can just kind of give the ball to and say, I need you to take over this game and go score. And I don't know if they have that yet. But they have the depth and they have kind of the versatility that as of right now, they don't need to, they can kind of just, they can kind of all just play together and get offense by committee, and their defense dials it in. They beat Lee by 20 points. That's the testament to their defense and preventing, making Lee have so many tough shots and empty possessions. You hold Wacona to 31. Wacona put up 60 in its first game?
Yep. Yeah, something like that.
So yeah, it's just I am now very high on Drury girls. Division 5, I think, is wide open. You and I have talked about that. I mean, Hopedale was the 1 seed last year. Lee upset Hopedale. I think Hopedale should be back. Their center is back. They should be a very, very good team. I don't know if they'll be the 1 seed, but I think they should be a very, very good team. Huzik looks like it might be rebuilding. Lee, well, we had high hopes for Lee, but might have been pushing the button a little too much, just because, you did lose Mia Polari, who was an all-Berkshire caliber, kind of versatile guard wing, who is, a vet, has been there, great defensively, gets you some shots when you need it. And then also they lost Rick Polari, who, 9-year coach, and now you have a rookie head coach. And so there's probably going to be some learning pains there. Drury is a veteran coach, which is what I saw when they played Lee. They kind of just better coach, better, And yeah, Drury has the depth. They have the experience. They have I'm high on what could be a more open D5.
If you enter the new year at 5-0, when your schedule is D5 Final Four team Lee, Wacona, who we envision being a Final Four caliber team, Hoosick Valley, defending state champion,
2-time defending state champion,
and Frontier, who won I think 18 games last year and just beat Hoosick. And then you have Taconic, and
Frontier also went to the Class B semis, upset Wacona last year.
Okay, so there you go. So that's your first 4 games right there, and they're at Hoosick tomorrow night. I think in in Ian Downey's. That's tough to say. Email.
Well, I need you to.
I just went email as well. In Ian's email.
There you go. There you go.
From the game last night, because Howard and I were out at wrestling. He went back and said, I think I've personally lost to Wacona 9 straight times. I think it goes back to 11 straight losses for Drury against Wacona. I imagine that number's similar with Huzik. I can't. Or did they steal one last year or a couple years ago? But
I actually went back and looked for Huzik. I think it's 2013 the last time Drury beat Huzik.
Okay.
And it was I think because 2013 Drury swept Huzik in the regular season. And then I believe that was the first year that Huzik won the Western Mass Championship under Ron Wojcik. And so they upset Drury to do that.
Okay.
In the Western Mass final. So anyway, I believe that was the last time Huzik got a win over, or sorry, that was the last time Drury beat Huzik.
And so another monster kind of test mental, all that stuff.
Well, and last year, Drury was right in that game, and they kind of gave the goat away a little bit. That was very much a game they could have won, and they lost it kind of late in the game. So Huzik is rebuilding. Is he coming over to my way?
No, he's over here.
All right, I also saw the chair move.
He's at the roadblock.
In any case, Huzik had an interesting game on Tuesday because they lost to Frontier. It was a game that they were kind of in, but Reagan Shea, who we talked about as potentially being an all-Berkshire caliber player, phenomenal game, 26 points, hit 6 threes. Genevieve Legesse was good, 12 points, but the rest of the team combined to score 3, and that's not enough. And so where is that secondary scoring going to come from is a big question for Huzik, and if they can't find it against a Drury team that has lots of potential scores, that'll be an issue. And this is the best chance Drury has for a win over Huzik in a decade, and it'll be interesting to see if like you said, they can get over that mental roadblock.
For sure. We can kind of stick, I guess, girls so far. Obviously, Pittsfield is the outlier who has not played a game yet. They'll play their opener against South Hadley, a rematch of the Western Mass Class B final from last year. Tomorrow night at PHS. Last 2 years. Right? Yeah.
Last 2 years.
Yeah, it was last 2 years. And then it was Wacona, South Hadley before that, right?
No, it's Wacona Pittsfield.
Oh, it was Wacona. Yeah, it was Wacona Pittsfield.
You were there.
I was, yes. That's why I was confused. I was like, wasn't Wacona in it?
Wacona Pittsfield, then Pittsfield South Hadley, Pittsfield South Hadley. And South Hadley has been to the last 2 D4 title games. So, excellent program. They definitely brought back a couple of their best players. So, should be a really interesting test.
Without having seen them, tough to kind of gauge the county as a whole. But I guess real quick, we mentioned Crick Greylock won the Franklin Tech tip-off, which Caution, they also won last year.
Girls Saudi.
Yes, coming off of that, they lost by 10 to Lee last night, which is not a bad loss by any means, but certainly a temperature shifting. Tanley Drake had 30 and 21 out at she was named MVP of the tip-off holiday, whatever they call it out in Franklin Tech, held to 8 points by Lee. So a caution flag there. Lennox has now lost 0-2. I mean, they hadn't lost a regular season game in 2 years, maybe. Quite a few straight anyway. They are now 0-2. Kind of like we expected, some drop off there. They also shift leagues. They're going to play a tougher schedule, and obviously their starting point guard is out with ACL.
I mean, Pope France is a very good team. They lost to Pope, and and they lost to Lee, and Lee's a good team. So they're not losing to bad teams by any chance, but this is what we expected, right? When you lose your 2 best players to graduation, and then you lose your third best player to injury, and then you're in a difficult league. It just kind of it is what it is.
Yep. So they're gonna have some figuring out stuff. They're playing a lot of young girls as well, and then pretty much everybody else is kind of 1-1. Wacona, Huzik, Greylock now 2-1. Lee's 1-1. Monument, I think, is 0-2. McCann won their first game, but not a ton has happened in the girls basketball realm thus far. Should be obviously changing with some big ones coming up.
Tuesday I was kind of getting our spreadsheet organized a little bit. I don't know if you noticed, but it was interesting because I was kind of just organizing our 3-point leaders, and it was like there was 7 girls with 3 or more threes, and there were 17 boys, which is a huge difference. But then on the other hand, I'm looking, and it's like there was this was Tuesday, something like 11 girls basketball games that had played, and like 18 boys basketball games. That's just the difference. It's just
the Pittsfield
more.
thing was bizarre. When I went to day 1 of Pittsfield girls practice,
Right,
and then I looked it up, I was like, oh my god, you guys don't play for like 18 days. Like, that's bizarre, but okay. So whatever scheduling quirk. I'm sure it's because they have a couple of those back-to-back tournament-y things.
I think that's part of it.
They play, I think, do they play in a holiday thing in Amsterdam, or is that the boys?
I believe they play in the Albany area, and I believe they play at the Hoop Hall.
So a couple of those things must have kind of, pilfered an early game or two from them.
Yeah, I remember last year where it was like, I think Hoosick girls maybe had like 4 games by the time the new year hit. It's just kind of, the schedules before January 1st are all very weird. We'll keep talking basketball, probably move over to the boys' side. We're going to take a quick break, so stick right here, and we will be back shortly.
PCTV Select is a great way to watch local content without having a cable subscription. You can keep up with the latest of what's going on in your community from anywhere in the world, and it's available for free right now. Watch live events in full HD on your TV, on your computer, or on the go with your mobile device. Or watch our large library of on-demand video programs anytime that's convenient for you. No more waiting until it's on TV. Did we mention it's free? PCTV Select is everywhere you need to be.
Underwriters are so important for keeping this station alive. Hi, this is Sean Sayre, Executive Director of PCTV. I'd like to thank our local businesses for supporting Pittsfield Community Radio and for believing in the mission of the station. When you hear underwriting messages on the air, you know those companies support WTBR-FM. If you're listening now and your business would like to join in and support us, call me today at 445-4234 and get involved, or visit us at WTBR-FM.com. It will make all the difference.
Welcome back, folks, here on WTBR, WSBR Bird's Eye View. Jesse and Mike in the booth here. We were talking girls basketball before the break. As Mike mentioned, some interesting games coming up today, tomorrow. Tomorrow for girls' side, you got Hoosick versus Drury, the first one. They're in the same league now, so we do get 2. We have Pittsfield girls, their home opener, their season opener tomorrow as well against South Hadley. That's at 6 o'clock on East Street. South Hadley, back-to-back D4 finalist, back-to-back Western Mass Class B finalist, won the championship in 23-24, lost it to PHS in 24-25, so should be a very, very fun game. Speaking of Pittsfield, on Monday, Mike, you were at the Pittsfield boys game against Drury. That was really funny to see your text where you're like, man, the Drury's going to blow it. Like, Pittsfield's just going to kind of steal this one. And, coming into the season, our thought process was Jorge Bond could probably be the best player in Berkshire County. And I believe your takeaway was...
I would remove could probably from that.
I will say...
Is.
So my point was, coming out of the game, you were... Jorge Bond is the best player in the county, but Drury needs to figure the rest of itself out.
Yeah, and he might too. Like, it's also, like, saying that takes some away from... Pittsfield could just be a, like, absolutely incredible defensive team this year. I don't know if they'll score a whole lot, or if they have anyone who will kind of grab a mantle that has been vacated there after the past couple years. But they just have a lot. Pittsfield has a ton of guys that they were kind of just working on, Drury on Bond in particular the entire game, and Bond is good enough that most of the game you're looking and you're kind of like, I think mid-third quarter. Now I'm blanking on names here. Number 1, let's see, they all have low numbers too. I got it right. Braden Sullivan, who I think had the Bond assignment from the jump. I think it was mid-third quarter. Had to exit the game. I believe he was cramping up, which is going to happen day 1 of the season, and you're guarding the best player in the county. And immediately, I think Breon Thompson switches on him. Jorge Bond just puts him on skates and scores with ease. Did the same thing to Noah Kane Smalls at one point, but it was just the collective weight of Pittsfield. These guys continuing to kind of weigh on Bond, and he was scoreless in the fourth quarter. of a close game. Went to the free throw line twice, so missed all 4 free throws in the fourth quarter, essentially. I believe he missed one before that, so it may have been 5 straight. And just kind of, they looked a little out of sorts. Jack Rossett blames some of the youth. They are surrounding Bond, and Bond himself is only a junior, but, I mean, at this point is a 2-year veteran, so... they are playing, I believe they start a freshman. They're running a couple sophomores and freshmen off the bench, so... There's some youth there with Drury, and it definitely showed. I mean, the last possession, they had a chance to tie or win, and they Pittsfield got the ball out of Bond's hands and then just kind of locked him up in the corner, and nobody on Drury could figure out kind of what to do at that point. Reminded me of a game last year up there where Rossett was literally yelling, like, give the ball to Jorge. Like, that's the only guy who can handle the ball in a pressure situation, and not a great sign that could be repeating itself this year. But we're one game in, and Drury looked pretty good otherwise. And like I said, Pittsfield is like, it looks like a chore to play against them. Not a team I want to play against.
Yeah, last year what I noticed was they are just going to have a... What's up, Hanky?
Chatty.
What's up? He is. He was talking today. Pittsfield last year just had a lot of guards, and you know what you can get scoring wise from them, what they can all do. It was a little bit up in the air, but they just have the depth at the guard position. So it's like we can just kind of throw bodies at you, and if you are, we're going to give the ball to one player, and the ball's going to be in his hands the entire time. That fits right into what PHS can do, which is we can just kind of throw bodies at somebody. And, maybe Jorge's cooking in the first 3 quarters, but he'll get tired at some point. And if no one else is stepping up and we can just kind of focus all our attention to him, okay, like you said, Braden Sullivan cramping up. Let's say Braden, he had 3 or 4 fouls, and we don't care because we have Breon Thompson. We have Noah Kane-Smalls. We have all these other guys who can kind of step up and take on that assignment. And then for Drury, this is unfortunately just a recurring problem. I was at the Western Mass Championship last year, and Drury should have won that game by all rights, and they went 1 for 8 from the free throw line with a minute left in the game. And because of that, they let Granby tie the game. Granby was doing the hack-a-shack. They were intentionally fouling, and because Drury just kept missing free throws, they went 1 for 8. They missed 7. The game was tied, and then Drury lost in overtime. And so, it's rough that it's Bond because he is a great free throw shooter. He's a great shooter in general. So this is not the person you'd expect that to happen. I could chalk this up to early season jitters, fatigue, all that kind of stuff. But it's a tough place to be for Drury where you thought you exercised those demons in the state tournament and then they come back to bite you and you feel like you probably should be 1-0 and instead you're 0-1 and you lose
1-1, but yeah.
Sorry, 1-1.
Yeah.
And they lost by like 1 point, right? They lost by
2, yeah.
2.
58-56.
58-56 to a PHS team that you were excited to have back in the Berkshire League, and this is a larger school, and you renew a rivalry.
Yes, it did not have the feel of a week 1 game. Definitely, and it just kind of brought back everything that's great about this Berkshire League coming back is pretty full house on a Monday night. Between two teams that have had a lot of success over the past 3-4 years.
That's what we like to hear. That's great.
That's the other thing. I was thinking it while watching the game, and it seems silly to say this given that he's won a Western Mass title. He's been to back-to-back Western Mass championships, but Jerome is really good. I think he. So first quarter. Pittsfield was doing a lot of celebrating. Anytime a bucket went down, it was a lot of signaling, a lot of, just kind of...
Sticking the chest out.
Yeah, a lot of that. And despite all that, they were pretty much losing the entire game, getting down by 8 at certain points. And I think a lesser coach, that game just becomes a blowout. Through the team kind of looking and seeing that they don't have a shot, whatever. And I think just... Jerome is so able to get his guys back under control, knock that off, run this, we're going to take you out, put you on here. He kind of has the pulse down, and for game 1 of a pretty new roster, pretty new lineup anyway, I thought was kind of wildly impressive. And I had mentioned it in the Berkshire League preview that this league, the coaching cachet of it is pretty wild. and he's only been there 4 years. Granted, 4 pretty wildly successful years considering the past of Pittsfield High basketball. This was one game, but I thought a kind of a showcase of what he's capable of with this particular crew.
Yeah, I agree. I thought that last year was his most impressive coaching job after all he lost, and they still go back to Western Mass final, knock off Taconic. They, have a great game in the first round of the D3 tournament. So yeah, I agree with what you're saying. He can certainly hold his own. And Randy Cole has been to a state title game, coached a million times in a million games. Bill Hafey, state title win, multiple state title appearances, all the Final Four appearances. Jack Reset been to how many Western Mass championships? There's just a lot of success there, and he's holding his own. Dustin Belcher been there a long time. And speaking of Dustin Belcher, Wacona, it was a team that I kind of was starting to convince myself could be pretty good this year, just because they returned everyone, and they are 3-0. And they look very, very good. They have Jake Wasuk, who played last year and I believe scored 18 points in the season, has now, I think, at 55 in 3 games this year.
53. Yeah.
53. He has been a just like all of a sudden explosive on offense. Was huge in their win over Frontier in the Pioneer Valley tip-off, and has given the offense last year kind of didn't always know who was putting up the points, and he has given them just somebody who I think is not afraid to go up and get his own shot to score, and that has been a huge change. Jack Ducharme has been very, very good to start the season, and we thought he could be very good to start the season.
Yeah. They have 4 guys averaging double figures right now through 4, which is not a normal thing for Wacona boys basketball.
No. And so, yeah, like they are deep. They have good size, and they just have a ton of scoring options all of a sudden. And this is, I think, a very, very good team. They beat Taconic pretty handily, which I expected. Taconic, I saw against Longmeadow. They're young, they're small, they're going to take their lumps. They have a lot of guards, and I think if they stick together, they could be pretty good. Quincy King, I think, is definitely, he is who we hyped him up to be. He could be very, very good. But they just, no one is large. And the last, I put this in my story, I'm sure you saw, where it's like, how many years has Taconic had a giant at center?
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden they don't. And so rebounding is going to be an issue. So Wacona kind of put the hurt on Taconic, which also understandable because Taconic has generally put the hurt on Wacona the last few years. So I'm sure that was a little bit of cathartic.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
But yeah, so Wacona could be a very interesting team. I'm really excited tonight. I will see Wacona versus Hoosick Valley. Once again, both in the Berkshire League, so we will get, that's a home-and-home series. Last year, there was a non-league game, and Hoosick won in double overtime in Cheshire. It was an incredible game. Mike and I were there. And so this year will be really interesting to see. Hoosick is 2-0. They got a gritty win over Monument by 1 point on Monday, but Hoosick, lost a huge score in Trey Moynihan, and now they're facing a team in Wacona that returned everyone and gained a scorer, essentially, or at least replaced a departing one in Alvin Alfonso. And so, it's kind of like, all right, well, if Hoosick was barely better last year and they lost one of their best players and Wacona replaced one of its best players successfully, what's going to happen? But that'll be very, very interesting to see. Is that Cheshire or Dalton?
Dalton, I believe.
That's in Dalton. So that'll be tonight at 7 p.m. That'll be a really, really fun game. And it'll be interesting to see. Wacona, Pittsfield kind of look like the front runners for the Berkshire League so far. So to see Wacona and Hoosick match up, Hoosick we thought could be in the running. Be interesting to see how they all stack up, and if Hoosick's. The Monument win was impressive, but Monument is a rebuilding team, and so there's a little bit of the caveat there. And Hoosick also beat Lennox, and Lennox isn't very good. They're in a deep rebuild, and so to beat Wacona would definitely be a win that stands out for Hoosick, as they're here, they're back after kind of a somewhat disappointing last year, because they went to the state title game 2 years ago, and then last year was a little more disappointing. Class D, I believe, is open for Western Mass, so Hoosick kind of be staking its claim to go back there and win that. So it'll be very, very interesting. We don't have much time left. Any other big games? to mention?
I mean, we mentioned it for girls, so just kind of quick around. Mount Everett also won the Franklin Tech Tip-Off Tournament. I believe the first time they had won it in 3 years. So I was interested to see them. They had a tougher game than expected against Lennox, but they are 3-0. And excited to see them play, I believe, Lee on Monday.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Also, should say on the 23rd, Lee Monument dedicating its gym. Thank you all for tuning in. Henry was talkative. Hopefully you have a good weekend. Happy holidays, and see you later.